to the Alpha Centauri. My city grid gradually taking shape. I haven't been able to successfully get anything recorded while playing. Any amount of movement while playing seems to create some audio problems at the moment. So I'm going back over and adding audio afterwards. Just the added bonus that I can concentrate on what the hell I'm talking about, rather than exactly what I'm doing in the game at that exact second. So, city numbers. Over 20 cities is serious inefficiency, but I mean, I'm losing a massive amount of power, but without the ludicrous number of cities, I wouldn't have that power. If I had 10 cities, I wouldn't be losing power, but there'd be less of everything. Power, manufacturing, growth. Get some very nice parallel growth. When you're dropping lots of level 1 cities, they become level 2 cities very quickly. So hopefully folks who are used to playing the game normally can get some method out of my madness here. My neighbour the university. Perfect arrangement. Nice coastal cities. Guzzling artillery, well defended coastal cities it turns out. Always such a pleasant surprise when the computer isn't completely useless. I like it. They just occasionally do these relatively clever things. I just don't do them on a big enough scale. Lots of stapling to be done. Best part of any ruler's day is the stapling. Actually, it's the best part of the subject's day as well. Fun of being stapled. So, turn 121. I'm looking supreme. I have the top of the tech who's who. I have the top of the overall who's who, which is nice. It's a comfortable first, but also gives me some things to aim for. Territory is not something I'm too worried about, but having a decent population and a decent military, both of those are definitely doable. I could potentially challenge them on that. On Transcend difficulty, I don't expect to rocket to the top of the chart immediately and stay there like I'm playing Librarian. I expect the AI to be feisty and try and keep up with me. Chairman Yang has the military and the population and the territory. I can guess which landmass Yang is on. He would have been sharing it with the Morganites, hence the end of the Morganites. Swarms of supply crawlers are swarming. Big scale game like this is going to involve a lot of supply crawlers and a lot of micromanaging. But I don't know if it really amounts to more work. If I don't allow myself any kind of victory but conquest, then it's going to take a while however you slice it. And the more I automate with formers and mass-produce military, the more I can get done per turn in coming turns. With a massive military, I can make some serious moves on some neighbours. Take some factions out. Simplify world politics just a little. Good old expendable cycle. I can just load them on my skim file. Take them to foreign climes, have them explore around. They're terribly independent because the biggest threat when exploring is worms, which they're built for, and anything else you come across. An enemy city that you want to be yours, you can bribe it. Enemy units can be bribed. Cheap, disposable, worm-proof explorers. Multi-purpose. No mineral upkeep on probe teams. No mineral upkeep on supply crawlers. Formers have upkeep, military has upkeep. Eventually you get the clean reactor, but it's got to get the artillery, yes. Well-armed university. It's alright, he's firmly in my sights. It's really an excellent arrangement to have the university as an island neighbour. Probe boats are very, very effective until the aircraft era. You tend to lose them in the aircraft era, but their cost is also fixed, whereas the cost of all your military is constantly ramping up as your weapons and armour get better. So you have these better production facilities building these awesome military units. You can very quickly pump out probe boats. So even though in the aircraft era they get picked off, they're very, very replaceable. Gradually coating this red island in green and orange instead. Classy Miriam. She's such a ginger that her faction colour had to be orange. What can you say about Miriam? Of course, one of the great things about using the Believers as a faction is that under no circumstances will you find yourself right next door to the Believers as a faction. It's kind of like being the Spartans in that way. You're already the tough guys of the game. Being one or the other against all these peaceniks does seem a little bit unfair. I could make the game more difficult by playing someone utterly bland like WoW. Nice big fat watch of worms. All this weed on my coast. It's evil fungus. Smash that worm. Oh dear. That's why it's nice to have lots of tanks. Yes, too much sea fungus on my coast. If I sprout enough kelp, the kelp will push it all out. Maybe I need to make more cycle. Just keep producing them until I can coat my entire coastline, prevent amphibious landings. It's a sensible precaution, I think.
Request confirmation.
Sensible precaution for a better planet. I'll leave it for a bit. It's worth mass producing supply crawlers in a big way. Rivers and forest. Hydroelectric power system. My headquarters is just an energy bank and a network node. There's a whole bunch of hydroelectric power being pumped into it, so some sort of deep thought type computer with fog wafting out its mouth. So its brain's shut down at the moment. I think I am on cranking into cash. I think my labs amounts to very much at the moment. But the university is full of wondrous technology. And I have a fleet of spy boats. And I've got a few spy guys. What I need is more military boats. Maybe a couple more troop carrier boats. Maybe more seaformers. Get rid of some seaweed, plant some kelp. Kelp around the coast is a nice little growth boom. Mid to late game or whenever you crack it out. I've been delaying it. I only wanted enough growth to just keep spamming out colony pods. We're past that era. I don't mind growing a little more. Getting on top of the population game. Having plenty of votes if I need them in the voting house of voting, as it's officially called in the manual. So, plenty of tanks. Shipyard is producing ships. More ships definitely in the offing. Crushing this damn worm is in the offing. Look at this cheeky worm.
Production complete.
Glorious thing about my cities is that they are like the rest of my henchmen and expendable, Mr. Bond. That city could have fallen to worms, and what would I have lost? A half-built transfoil? A recycling tank? 2 population? Pretty pretty sure I could recover from that. It's just as well I'm a bit of a probe team mama, because my research in this game has been pretty pitiful. I really could have done a lot more to have kept abreast of the tech. I knew I'd have a renaissance of pure thievery at some point, but still. I could be a better developed civilization. I'd only teched up a little earlier. Oh well. Can only devote your resources to so much. I devoted my resources to spamming out colony pods
We have reached an informational threshold
and my
which
probe
can only
teams.
be crossed by harnessing the speed of light directly.
I
The
regret
quickest
nothing.
computations require the fastest possible particles moving along the shortest paths.
Make some ships.
Since the capability now exists to take our information directly from photons traveling molecular distances, the final act of the information revolution will soon be upon us. Academician Prokhor Zakharov, for I have tasted the food.
It'd be interesting to see how many cities I can squeeze on to this particular chunk of land. Expanding beyond 9 bases. Oh, I'm seriously beyond 9 bases. It's a dire warning that they bother to pop up and tell you every time. I don't know, I think it's responsible for unnecessary timidness. I think a lot of people have 9 or less cities for a very long time, or less than 20 cities for a very long time in the game, because that's where the 2 warnings roughly crop up. But efficiency is only energy. Energy is only one element of the game. It's perfectly legit to go nuts with energy and win the game with energy or with nutrients. I'm pretty much focused on minerals here. Okay, sneak our way in, procure, never mind blaming other people.
Accomplished.
University map. Yang. Yes, the big continent. It's where Yang had to be in order to be a territory king. Would make sense. The great thing about downloading someone's world map is that it's a full stop on your expedition to grab all their tech. If you're grabbing their map, they've got nothing juicy left for you to lay claim to. So, I can turn my attentions away from the university for now. I can go and find the Gaians or Lao. Don't know, any of them might have some juicy tech. Or I can need to cook up more of a navy. Got a bunch of new tech. I seem to be at the top of the tech list. need to incorporate that tech into
Terraform complete.
my vast empire. Vast. Look at the breadth of my domain. I'm not ready to weep yet. There's still a vast colonial empire to win by spanning tentacles throughout the world through which to impose my authority. So, 4 turns to a boat. This is how we do it. Build a supply crawler, move it to a factory, disband it, repeat. Once the thing in the factory reaches 1 turn to completion, you buy it out. That is how I roll, that is my official technique. Spam the factory with crawlers. Disband, disband, disband. All the way down to 1 turn. Buy it.
Bullet recovered.
So, general rule at this stage of the game. 1 crawler will be 1 turn's worth of production. Later on, when things get big and sophisticated, or if you're building a battleship, that will not be the case. So it's fairly easy now. If I've got 3 crawlers, I can disband 3 crawlers, knock it down 3 turns,
Drone riot complete. Production complete. Drone riot.
buy it out.
Production complete.
Do the same with tanks. But got enough tanks for now. I need a navy. Navy's where it's at. I think I've got plenty of formers. I've got a vast army of formers. Still got some mines to build, of course, but
Terraform complete.
the way forest spreads naturally, I think I've got enough formers to finish my continent and move on to others, quite frankly. Some get blown up, I'll build some more. We'll link it up. I'm the king of tech. I plug in a device and get ecological engineering, and now all those mines with roads,
Likewise, the scarcity of carbon in the environment
they
is
instantly
forced to
go
compromise
from
on
2 minerals to 4 minerals,
to retain carbon
which
to
is
the
likely to
biosphere
cause
will
some
encourage
pollution.
plants to proliferate. Conversely,
So,
quantities of
epic
nitrate
eco
being stored
damage.
will be
Here
open
comes
to green
global
commerce.
warming, holy cow.
Lady Deidre Sky, the editor.
Yeah, can't cure that a simple way. Look at all that beautiful mineral slurpage. That's the stuff. So now I can power down a bunch of mines or redistribute them more to the point. So this is 26 minerals now. So it's intense eco damage. I need that down well under 20. And that means I can divert the minerals from these mines into different cities. And as long as I don't go past the threshold, I won't cause any eco damage. Just the existence of mines that are being used causes some eco penalty damage, but forests have a positive, so as long as I have way more forests than mines, I'm all good. Tanks, tanks, tanks. That's from a single tank factory. Yes, that particular tech means reorganising a lot of mineral production, mineral 11 eco damage here with all that slurping that's causing it. I free up a bunch of these crawlers. I can use some for production, get some ships built. I can use others. I can move some to my HQ, do more hydroelectric energy slurping, or I can just use them to pull in mine minerals to nearby cities without using a citizen to do it. Problem with using forests and recycling tanks to support your population is that, as opposed to farms, etc., you don't get a heavy level of growth, and you can't really spare people to work on mines which produce no food at all. But I can supply crawl in a mine's worth of minerals, which is 4. Now I have this tech. That sorts them out. Where are we up to? 226. Be about time to wrap it up.